starter. My mind divine, it take me a lot farther. Growing up, I really had beef with my father. But why bother explaining my feelings? Try harder, but either way they gon' paint you the villain. 8 months with no phone, dog, we aiming for brilliance. High level, maintaining the building, we making a killing. Alright, my flow sinister. This ain't rap music, this straight literature. Small-minded, all your ideas miniature. They tend to hate on you when they can't get rid of you. A wise man told me that silence never betrayed him. Keep your mouth shut, cause got ultimatums. Stupid situations, the tongue often creates them.
On the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium, just north of downtown Tampa. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. They begin the drive on the ground. It's White. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And how'd you like to be the quarterback reviewing the game tape from last week and seeing this defense on the spot on almost every snap? If the ball was in the air, they took it away. If the ball was popped free, they picked it up. 5 takeaways in last week's game.
This is caught by Evans. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That goes for a gain of 31.
We expected this defense to be tested by this passing game coming into this one. And there's an example on this first possession of the game.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. A first carry for Leonard Fournette. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. The Bucs at 500-3 through the season's first 6 weeks. Well, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So, you know, they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
Now, a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way, so he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it, just move on to the next play.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
An early message that this secondary is going to be tested because even though it fell incomplete, it almost felt like a warning shot to get things going.
So on 4th down, Sean McVay going to send out the field goal unit. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. Had just the one big play on the drive, but that was enough to put him in field goal range.
Yeah, one big play of what they hope will be many others throughout the game. Every team has a different target for the number of plays like that, those explosives that we talk about. That allowed him to put points on the board on that drive. Let's see how the rest of the game goes.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. But Charles, something we talked about last week, when you start believing whether you're in the midst of a special season or not. Well, now they're at 6-0. Are you still trying to tamp down the expectations in that locker room?
Well, to me, it's less about tamping down expectations and much more about not getting ahead of yourself as a team. And look, they got to play each game individually, right? Many teams talk about being 1-0 at the end of each and every game each week. To me, you got to understand you cannot win the Super Bowl in October.
Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Baldwin. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. And just on Wednesday, he was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for that over 100-yard performance he had last week.
Deservedly so, and I enjoyed our time with him and asked him how he got it done. What did he see? And he said film study, watching what the defenses were going to present, understanding how to defeat those. And then he was a step ahead because he said they're going to change up and counter another way. And he beat them that way, too.
11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week. And right now, we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
A gain of 3, second down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one covers 29 yards, first down.
But give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line.
And that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. On the RPO, that's complete right side. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line. If you're these receivers, you got to be ready because when he's going to throw it quick on that RPO, he's going to throw it quick.
And this is why you spend time with your guy either in the offseason, during the week, the whole bundle. Because sometimes it's just telepathy. You both see the same thing, and he knows get the ball to him right away.
Trying to barrel up in there, but I don't think he got it. Only a few inches needed on the sneak. He didn't get it, and now it's 4th down.
Well, that play seemed well scouted defensively. They collapsed everything inside. Nowhere to go on the quarterback sneak. Now it's going to bring up 4th down.
This time he'll look to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it. And the Bucs are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down. I appreciate the aggressiveness trying to go for it there on 4th down, but you're in the red zone, had 3 points in your back pocket. Instead, Charles, they throw it away.
Certainly a big call to go for it on 4th down. As you said, in the red zone. Definitely going to cost them 3 points, and we'll see how that affects the game as time goes on.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They take over here following the interception. That's the good news. The tough spot is the spot that they're in. That's inside the 5 in the shadow of their own goalpost here. 1st and 10. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. credit the tackle there to Uchenna Nwosu. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll go up the middle with White. And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Play fake. Mills sliding out of the pocket. He's going to let this go deep. Back over the middle. He's got a man. Complete. And it's a big play there as he is finally taken down on what will be a terrific final act of this first quarter. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. So that's about as long a non-scoring play as you're going to see from inside their own 10 to 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows to 10-0. The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is.
He's got a man, complete. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. Quite a show of arm strength right there. That was in the air for a long time, and it was on target, too.
And to be honest, this first half hasn't been anything that they'd be really proud about. So they needed something like this to change their fortunes. Now they need to make sure they finish this one off, not just with points, but with a touchdown.
Yeah, and that throw, my goodness, and even 70 yards through the air.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. He'll look to throw.
Now wasted time going right back to DK Metcalf. And the Seahawks are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the...
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Kenneth Walker, his 4th touchdown on the year.
And the Seahawks have cut it back within a score. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play, and they actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started.
Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
On second down, here's Fournette. And he's got room. And now off to the races down the right side.
And he's going to be out of bounds here all the way down inside the 10. 80 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here.
Uses the stiff arm. And he's going to pull his way down to about the 1-yard line.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on second and goal?
Now Mills on the sneak.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Officially no gain on the sneak. Kind of a wasted play there, and now it's third down.
Now that was a little too conservative for my liking. It's only second down, and they try to run the sneak. Give credit to the defense. They pushed them back and set up third down.
And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
It's a 1-yard touchdown run
as his guys are able to extend their lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
They'll elect to bring it out here for the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net. 4 yards.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play at the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
Here's 2nd and 8. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted.
And the Buccaneers are going to take possession of the football.
CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
They'll try and run it with White. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown.
His 4th rushing touchdown on the campaign, number 7 overall.
And the Bucs are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of a season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Still early in this one, Charles, but the last time this offense was out there, they threw their first interception of the ball game, so trying to avoid repeating that mistake here on this drive.
And to put a positive spin on it, at least it happened in the first half and not in a close game in the fourth quarter, but you're absolutely right, partner. One of the last things this offensive quarterback wants to witness again in this game.
Kind of an obvious question, Charles, but anything you try to avoid after your first pick, or you say it's one interception, we're still in the first half, I'm going to do the same thing?
I think you want to avoid playing scared, and put it into the mind of the quarterback that you've lost confidence in him. Make sure you get some throws that he's going to be able to complete, make him feel good about himself, and continue to run your offense.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now back to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Looking to throw is Mills. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began, thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. A handoff, Fournette running left. And he is going to lose yardage here. A 3-yard loss, 4th down now. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Returnable for Lockett. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. First and 10 here. If they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. It's caught. Baldwin. He's got room at the 30. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. A big play there on the catch and run. And it'll give him a fresh set of downs.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Got a man, and it's Baldwin again. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His second catch in a row, first down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll set up to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it's second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Touchdown, Seahawks. Noah Fant from 8 yards out. And the Seahawks get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead down to 10, 24-14.
Michael Dixon, the kickoff for Seattle.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. This one fielded at the 5. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. First down, Mills. That's complete. It's Chris Godwin. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up first and 10. Our first down throw for Mills. He completes this to Russell Gage. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the third quarter. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game, and to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
And certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They'll look to throw.
And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far.
It's Devin White, the linebacker. And the Bucs are going to take possession of the football. Tough one there. First drive of the third quarter, throw an interception, and now a chance that they could be in even a bigger hole if they can convert this into points.
Yeah, but how good do you feel if you're that defensive coordinator right now? Because you just know that the head coach looked at him and said, turn him loose, big man. And he'd be able to take a few extra chances playing with this type of a lead, and boy, it paid off.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a second and 11.
They go play action. Mills.
Godwin's got it. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A great play there. 28 yards. And the Buccaneers take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Partner, they had a good lead as they went in at the half, and they came out here in the second half and found a way to extend it. I love their consistency. Don't worry about what they said at halftime. This seemed like a team that was ready to play 60 minutes, and while this game is far from over, I love their approach.
So the call's made by Sean McVay. They're going to go for 2.
Mills going to throw for it.
This is caught. Was he in? Yes. 2 points. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to...
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Ron Thornhill. And the Buccaneers are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD. And it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup. Well, they certainly knew their challenge as this series began, and they got to stop on play number 1. Goal now, get 2 more stops and limit the damage to a field goal.
And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans, 26 yards. And the Bucs take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Throw out wide to Walker. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Up the middle, here's Walker. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there to defend. And now here's another interception. And the Bucs are going to take possession of the football. Well, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball-hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player, you have to know the situation.
Fournette once more on second down, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 87 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
Fournette running right. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Mills on 3rd and 2. Rolling to his right. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
Well, that's all about moving the pocket on 3rd down so the defenders can't just go to one spot and find the quarterback. Bootlegged him out to his right against the grain, able to spot the open man, and got it to him for the first down.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Fournette on the counter. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6. Working out of the gun, Mills. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. A loss of 3 on the sack made by multiple defenders. And his kick is indeed good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, the only silver lining on the other
sideline, CD, is that they kept him out of the end zone, but still, that's another 3 points added on to this large lead.
Yeah, no shortage of scoring or big plays on defense in this one. And even up by 4 possessions, still finding ways to create opportunities and capitalize with points.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
The 2nd and 10 now as we roll along in the third quarter from Tampa.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller is thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And my goodness, another interception. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And it's a pick six. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD.
Well, what has been a fantastic game for this defense has been rough for this offense, and certainly a signal caller, Charles, that's thrown all these interceptions. Another one there, and this one taken all the way back for the score.
Partner hoping to hold a nice little spot in the post-game highlights to show this rate of interceptions and great plays this group has made. They've been on it from snap one.
And we'll see a return here from the end zone.
Pass midfield. He's at the 30. 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Seahawks. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Well, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case when it comes in special teams.
Extra point right down the middle as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They can definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to get them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time.
Second down, back to Fournette.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
I would think as a play caller, you want to look for some quick hitters to your tight end. Any type of a route to replace where that linebacker was. Because when you saw the speed with which he reacted and stuffed that play, maybe use that speed against him in the future.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Mills. And And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Now it's Lockett. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And that unbeaten record very much in jeopardy. It's been a great first few months of the season so far, but they have run into a buzzsaw here. He's got a man complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that, man. One play, 75 yards, end zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn up on the whiteboard. Big-time play, big-time result.
From the 6. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And right about now, heck, they might be wishing they did not have a bye week coming up next week. It appears they're going to go into that week off in high spirits as they've got this one well in hand. And a fast footwork by White. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Here's Mills.
He's going to have the hook up to Gage.
And he is going to have a Bucs first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Have confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You just go ahead and play.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. Fournette once more on 2nd down.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run it again with Fournette. Pretty nice, aggressive run there before being brought down just inside of the 30. Now a timeout coming in here defensively as they stop it before the 2-minute warning with 2:09 to go in the game.
And they'll try to throw here. Mills. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down. Well, fourth quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
They'll roll him out right. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Point after here coming up. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This has been frustrating for them to this point. They have not looked the same as they did coming in, riding that impressive 6-game win streak. I credit the tackle to Juan Thornhill.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. He'll look to throw. Looking for his slot man, and he's got him. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And it's 3rd and 4 now. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. In today's NFL, we talk about quarterbacks and their speed and accuracy, but there's still something about a guy slinging one downfield.
And you'd think on 3rd down they'd just be looking for something right beyond the sticks. And I think they caught the defense flat-footed as a result because they decided they were going to take a shot right there.
And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is down to 24. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So jumping from his free safety spot.
That tells you how aggressive they are on defense, doesn't it? They get everyone involved. He was a little too fast on that play.
This offense, they gave the nation quite a show, putting up that many points to come away with what will certainly be a memorable win for them.
And Brandon, I think it's as simple as this. Some players, some teams, they're just meant for the big stage. And when they get a chance to play in this type of atmosphere, where all eyes are on them and all the lights are shining brightly, they show up and they show out.
So for Tampa Bay, they move back over 500 now at 4-3. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they fall for the first time this season after 6 wins to start the campaign. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals.